Yo, what is up, guys? So today another trade recap. So I did not make the trade recap for yesterday, which is kind of my fault, my bad, gang. But nonetheless, we're gonna still gonna make it for today. So yesterday I did take a loss, unfortunate loss. Am I sad about it? I could argue, but in my opinion, it was a pretty good trade. Why I was thought it was a good trade, even though we swept this low, and why I think and why I still think it was a good trade is because so, right off market open, like yesterday, what do we see? We were holding this 1 hour bearish for value gap. Also with this BPR that we had, like with this like perfectly. Another thing we do is like run all the way up and we close bearish, right? So with that, I did was kind of leaning more towards bearishness, and eventually with this candle closure, I was like bearish. Eventually, we didn't get like really clean setups that we could have taken. I mean, one possibility would have maybe been this trade. I think maybe if you saw this, that you could have taken this. If you were like seeing this, actually never mind. You would have not probably taken this on the 1 minute. I think there was something. Uh, where is it? Yeah, this on the 1 minute you could have taken like right here on the 0.718. You could have taken that, but personally I would have probably not taken that in my opinion. And really the only setup I could have taken was probably this one right here. I would have probably not taken this. Why I would say that is because price is like pretty is like moving pretty bearish, and like this gap is not like optimal for me, I would say. Then we eventually just start chopping around, but what do we get? We get this breakout to the downside. That breakout to the downside closes really good on the 15 and 30 minute. With that in mind, I thought to myself, okay, we could probably see this low maybe getting reswept and a potential move lower, right? Because of the 15 and 30 minute closure. I was aware that the 1 hour candle could still close bullish, but because of the 15 and 30 minute candle, we still had 30 minutes on that candle. I thought like, okay, we could maybe take out more targets. For example, this previous week low, this was my overall target, and we had a good OT aligned up with this as well, because you had this 2 minute gap right here, perfectly aligning with that 0.71 level that I had marked out, and that's where I also took my trade. I took it like this, and I was targeting a 1 to 2, actually not 1 to a little bit more, like 2.25, but uh, it, even though if I was even if I was targeting 1.1 to 2, it would have not hit TP. And yeah, I was expecting it to at least go down here. So even then, it would have hit my TP if I wasn't targeting the range low. And overall, I'm not too sad about this trade, because in my opinion, this was a good trade. And I would take these trades like again and again. Only thing I could have, yeah, like there's not really anything for me to say, okay, this is a bad trade, because I really don't think this is a bad trade. Only thing that I maybe could have like said to myself, okay, we're taking out this low, maybe not take the trade. But why I still took it is because we got a good candle closure on both the 15 and 30 minute. And with that in mind, I didn't expect it to not work out, right? So yeah, uh, it is what it is. But even then, one thing I'm like kind of experimenting with is taking a shorter stop loss. Why? Is because usually, for example, this is a prime example. When I take my entry, uh, I'm expecting it to hold this fair value gap, right? Usually, if it goes already through this fair value gap, your trade is going from an A plus to like a or a B plus, for example, if you know what I mean. So with that in mind, if I'm expecting to that this fair value gap holds, I could just take my stop loss and put it above the candle or even body of the OT where I'm taking it from, because I'm not expecting this this fair value gap to get ran through or get inversed and all that. And one thing, yeah, that's what something I've been experimenting with. And if I did that, I would have probably hidden TP, but that's just hindsight, and I could have not predicted that in the moment. Looking back on that, that's something I could have improved, and it would have worked if I did that. Today, I did not take any trade, but this was probably the best setup I could have taken today. This right here is the only, and I think the best setup I could have taken today. Why I could have taken this, actually, why this was the best setup is because, actually, let's get into what happened this today. So what I saw happening is, right, this candle running through these 1 hour imbalances after this, getting sweeping this, and then running down and closing like this. That's such a bullish closure. And then what we get the lag up accordingly. So this leg up on the lower time frame, for example, on the 50-minute, is this, and this lag. So you see, right, there's a fair value gap getting created in there, and on the lower time frame, you even see the way better, like more gaps in there. So right before New York Open, I marked out this, but like no levels were really aligning with these gaps, right? So what does New York Open do? New York Open just sweeps out this low really quickly and rallies up. We start rallying up, and what happens is that we do create a new high, but I was not expecting price to make a deeper retracement. Why? Is because I thought to myself, okay, and the thing I've been implementing is that if price makes one retrace, that's basically the retrace you want to catch. But in this instant, that kind of way of viewing the retracement was not correct. Why? Is because we had reason to make a deeper retrace. Why is that? That's because on the higher time frame, for example, the 15 and 30 minutes, that retrace was only to here, and that's not even the 50% of this whole gap. So there was actually reason for us to retrace lower, if you know what I mean. But at the time, and I've been implementing that. Because of that, I unconsciously told myself, okay, this setup is not valid anymore. I'm not gonna look for anything else. I'm not gonna look for deeper retracement. And that's why I also started scaling in on the lower time frame, because I thought this right here is the retracement and we're just gonna get a push higher. So because of that, I started looking for a retracement within here. I almost taken this, but why I didn't take it is because we like why I didn't take it is because I think this swept Asia high on someone's chart, and it really moved quite violently to the downside. Eventually, if you did take it, you would have gotten a reaction, probably from this 0.71 level, but you would have gotten stopped out if you did. Would have that been TP if you did? Maybe. If you taken it like this, they could have. Yeah, this would have probably. You could have gotten a 1 to 2 RR if you would have taken a tight stop loss. But overall, I would not like if you would have, then it would have been good. But overall, risky trade. But then I didn't really anticipate us to even move lower with that mind. So another thing adding up onto that was that this 15-minute candle closed so bearish that I wasn't really anticipating us to even move higher, right? From that, and then what do? I waited for a little bit because I was not sure what was gonna happen. Eventually, we just move a bit higher. What happens is that we do get this retracement into that gap. I did not take this because I didn't like the fact that we still had like these gaps that we were holding, and then this small gap. Looking back on it, if I would have taken this would have probably maybe been a TP. Maybe. No, this would have not been TP. But looking back on it, I'm not too upset about it. Then it just started moving higher, higher, and higher. Eventually, when we swept this high with a good candle and then we closed above like this, I was like really bullish. And then the setup I want to eventually end up taking was this, I think 5 minute, like here. No, not the 3 minute. Yeah, 3 minute. Eventually wanted up to take this 3 minute trade like this, but what had happened is that this 3 minute, I did not get an entry. I would have taken it like this and targeted probably a 1 to 3 RR. But what happens is that we did not get any entries on this. By like a couple points. So that's really unfortunate. But I did have my limit there. I did have my stop loss like this. And yeah, I just didn't get the entry, which is very, yeah, you could say sad, but eventually price does what price wants to do. And why I still wanted to take this trade, even though we swept all this, is because price was moving really bullish. We had like a really good candle closure above here, and this like the red gap still could have been a target, right? But I was aware that this could just not work out, and we get eventually the same thing that we had on Tuesday. But overall, this was the actual best setup, and this would have been actually also a good setup if I got an entry. Not saying it because it hit TP, but it would still be a good setup in my eyes, because technical wise, because we had these really good candle closures, bullish candle closures. So yeah, that's basically it. So overall, yeah, March starting off kind of rough. Two losses, one no trading day, and hopefully tomorrow or the day after we could take a win. But let's see what price gives us. I'm not gonna rush it, and yeah, hope you guys had something. Hope you guys had a better trading start off than me from March. And overall, yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you did, this was a bit more a longer video than usual, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys had a good training, and like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.